Hey guys, a Pro here. In today's video we're going to talk about Oukitel U18 and I'm going to tell all the truth about it. So I will tell you 3 things which I spotted after using this phone for 3 months, and we're going to decide, is it worth to buy this phone in late 2018 or not. The first thing we need to talk about is that a lot of people think that this is iPhone X clone, but it isn't. It has only the screen which looks almost similar like iPhone X. But as you see, on the bottom it has sharp corners, on the top it has rounded corners like on iPhone X, so it's close to the iPhone X screen, but it isn't iPhone X screen. Also, it has the way different back which looks close to the Huawei Mate 10, but it isn't completely the same too. So we need to talk about the most important things which I spotted of using it for 3 months, and the first thing is that I spotted that this phone doesn't have the secondary camera. As you see, now I show you that by default it should have the 2 cameras here, and it should have the dual camera capability to make bokeh effect and etc. As I'll show you, it had the function which is named blur here. Sometimes it's not responsive at all. As you see, we had the blur function here. It's so laggy, it's so shaky, and it let us to choose the percentage which we can use to blur the background, 60%, 0%, but it isn't really bokeh effect, you know? It isn't. It just blurs the screen from the edges and that's it. It isn't bokeh. It's just something like, you know, tries to make it like that. And one important thing, that this secondary camera is the sensor. So if you hide it, the phone thinks that you hide the camera, and it tells don't hide the sensors of the camera. So we can't see that. Make sure you are not covering the lens. Okay, I a bit covered the main lens, so I need to... As you see, I am not covering the main lens, but it shows the message like that. Make sure you are not covering the lens. And they made it something like it's sensor, and it really works as bokeh, I don't know, but it's only sensor and it isn't the bokeh at all, it's only just fake. The second thing which I saw is that flash of this phone is not dual but single. As you see on the top, the flash is more green, and at the bottom more dark yellow. So this dark yellow is just the imaginable flash. It's not a flash at all. It just made look like dual flash, but it's not flash at all. Only the top one is real flash. So it's a fake again. The third thing which I saw when I bought the phone is that when I got this, and when I bought the phone, on the side it said octa-core. Now when I get the phone, it tells quad-core. Guys, what the hell? I mean, quad-core, I buy the phone octa-core, and when I get it, it's quad-core. I don't know what they wanted to show for us with this, and as you see, it's quad-core, definitely, and I don't know what they wanted to prove us with faking the info about this phone, but it's definitely faking everywhere. And the fourth thing which I wanted to mention is that the back camera and the front facing camera had the 16 and 13 megapixels. So the back camera has the 13 megapixels and the front camera has 13 megapixels, but it hasn't autofocus. So guys, we have the front facing camera which doesn't have autofocus? Come on. But okay, let's see. And also we tell that we can use the front facing camera as the unlock screen. I mean unlocking the phone. But to be honest, this face lock is one of the worst things which I had seen on the Android phones made of the old time. I mean, when you get this phone and when you try to use this screen lock, I mean face lock on the screen, you just make the photo of it, as you see, press next, you confirm the code, and then it shows to scan your face. They scan your face, and it only works from the similar position as you place the phone when you scanned it. So it's just like a photo effects from 2008 when the smartphone era was started, and I don't know, it's just like a fake effect, and you shouldn't buy the phone if you want to use the real face lock on this price. The fingerprint, yeah, it works great. It's pretty fast, as you see. I press it now. So it's like half of a second delay, but it's a way better from the last Oukitel phones before this. The few last things which I want to mention, which is bad on this phone, is that this phone's touchscreen is not really sensitive. What I mean, look, when I touch the phone with the thumb, it works almost okay. When you type message, it works okay. But look, let's place it face down and face up, and let's say I press it with my finger, like that, tap. Okay, it works now. Let's tap. Look, sometimes it doesn't react sometimes. It doesn't react sometimes because I don't press my finger too hard on him. So if I press my finger hard on him, it's fine. Look, the app opens randomly. Okay, it's light. But if I don't press hardly, it doesn't work at all. So the sensitiveness of the screen is not the best, because this phone probably has very thick glass. Why I think it like that? Because when I was checking the glass thickness of the phone from the speaker, here it has the very, very thick glass to reach the screen. So I think maybe conductivity or just the heat which we emit with a finger and phone collects is has the just too thick way to reach the main touchscreen, which is completely assembled on the LCD, and it just has issue like that. I don't know, but maybe it's true. And the last thing which I wanted to mention, which is bad on this phone, is that it doesn't have 3.5 millimeters jack at all. As you see, totally no jack. Well, I can tell, guys, what is going on? I mean, you have the phone as thick as 1 centimeter, 10 millimeters, and you just can't make the jack? Except this, we made adapter. Okay, the adapter is fine, but it's not the thin phone like iPhone X or iPhone 8, iPhone 7, which doesn't need the adapter, new era or etc. But they made the adapter on the phone as thick as that. Guys, it's not good. So, now the bright side. Well, this phone has very good charger. It came... Now I packed it, but I'm gonna unpack it. It came with a charger like that. It's really good because it has 2 amperes. And the main good thing about it is that it charges the phone about an hour and a half. So with 4000 milliamperes battery, it's pretty fast because this phone is a monster on the battery. The battery lasts for 2 days with fully usage on the 4G network, so I'm very satisfied with that because it works very well and very long, like fully usage on the 4G for 2 days. It's amazing, it's awesome. I was very satisfied with that. Another good thing which I spotted on this phone is the design. Design is gorgeous. For $130 you can get the phone like that. It looks really awesome. It has the metal bezels. It has the really cool back design, which looks not outdated at all. It has all the nice edges on the bezels. As you see, it looks really amazing. It has like iPhone speaker holes, and of course the top looks amazing too. But the main problem, as I told you, is that it's thick. It's very thick. It has 10 millimeters thickness, so it's really thick. But except that, the design is amazing. You have the notch. It was the first Android phone to have a notch, and it cost only $150 when I bought it, but it costs now $130. So it's really cheap for the price which you can get the phone like that. It's really cheap, except especially the design side. Another thing which I can tell you is that with games it works really well. 1.5 gigahertz processor is really enough to play Clash of Clans with no lag, to play Asphalt 8 or another popular games. It really doesn't lag and works well on the games. I can demonstrate it, but I think it's useless to waste your time to demonstrate the games because a lot of reviews with this phone on games are on the internet. I want to mention only the good and the bright and the dark side of this phone, which is not presented on YouTube at all for this day. To make you sure, if you want to buy this phone, to make you sure buy it or not in late 2018. Okay, so another good thing which I spotted on this phone is Android 7. It works great. I love it because it has no issues. It's stock Android, so you have a lot of RAM free. It is now for 2 gigs of RAM, so 2 gigs of RAM of it is really enough to use the phone on a full usage, to play the game in the background, to go to Google Chrome and do other things. So the Android 7 works fine on this. Sometimes you see some glitches or bugs, like you scroll on the Facebook, or you just go to the settings and you go down, and sometimes notification center just pops out randomly. I don't know why, but it's Android issue, not this phone. So except that, I didn't spot any big glitches or bugs, and the system worked really well. And the fourth thing which I wanted to show you from the bright side of this phone is the RAM. As you see, you have 4 gigs of RAM on the cost of the phone, like $130, guys. It's amazing. 4 gigs of RAM is really usable on these days. It's really amazing to have 4 gigs of RAM. You can play a lot of apps on the same time. Multitasking works great, and 4 gigs of RAM is perfect for that. Another good thing is that you have 4 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of ROM. So let's go to settings and we can see storage. You have 64 gigs of storage. 64 gigs, it's amazing. Okay, system uses 11 gigs. Okay, it's a lot, but look, another 50 gigs is for you. As I was talking about design, I wanted to mention that this phone is really easy to hold in one hand. It feels really premium, and it's easy to hold in one hand and write messages in one hand because the aspect ratio is 21:9, and the phone really feels good on the hand. You can hold in one hand easily. Let's text some messages, and let's see. iPhone. It's really easy to write with one hand. You can reach the whole keyboard. Of course, you can't reach the top of the phone because you need to have or higher hands or flatter hands, or I don't know. But to write with one hand, it's really easy, and you have no issues with that. So this is another plus for the design, because I'm really happy that you can reach from side to side. On iPhone 7 Plus, for example, I can't reach the last letters on the side, on the left side, when I write with the right hand. So guys, it's really enough for the average user to have this phone, especially when you have 4 gigs of RAM and 1.5 gigahertz MediaTek processor. But if you are very demanding user, then you shouldn't buy this phone, definitely, because when you play the harder games on this phone, then it starts lagging, glitching, and etc. It has a decent GPU, which is cool too to have on the phone like that, but you can't buy the premium phone on $130, so accept with that. But I want to tell you that if you are average user, which write messages, scroll Facebook, uses the main things like Messenger, play some games like Clash of Clans or Asphalt 8, calculator, just basic things, and watching YouTube, it's fine, it's perfect for that. If you want to have a great design and have the average specs phone, you have 4 gigs of RAM, a lot of memory, so it's really a good choice for you. But as I mentioned, it has some dark sides, like sometimes it isn't sensitive when you place it on the face up, and when you try to tap screen with your finger, it sometimes doesn't react. It has very bad camera, as you see on the dark light. Okay, let's make some focus and let's check it on the dark light. You see, it's really laggy. Daylight, it's fine. It is not laggy. It doesn't need stabilization, so you can make pretty good photos with that. Let's make some of them. And as you see, it's fine, it's not blurred, and of course this is the net on my window, so you can see all the sharpness of this image, but by default it's fine, on the daylight especially. I have then previous images like this, as you see, it's really okay on the daylight, it looks nice. But when we speak about the dark light, it goes all wrong. It goes all wrong, guys. Let's take some pictures in the dark light. It doesn't have stabilization. This is the worst thing. As you see, it lags a lot. It lags a lot. And let's take some pictures of that again. Let's take some focus to the box. And sometimes you need to take photos with one hand, with your shaky hand. And let's say we're taking the photo like that. And as you see, it's horrible. Look guys, it's horrible. It's not my camera focus, it's the photo which I took just now. And it's not even very dark light. Okay, it's a daylight, so it's fine. But if we talk about this, guys, wow, it's just horrible. On the average light, you can't take the picture when you shake your phone. It's bad. Okay guys, to make the final decision whether to want to buy this phone or not, I can say 3 things for and 3 things against. So let's start for 3 things for. The first thing is design. It's gorgeous, it looks amazing, okay. Second thing is that it has very huge battery, which you can last for 2 days fully usage on 4G network. It's also very amazing, and it's very good decision to put the battery on the phone like that, because it has not very powerful processor, which doesn't consume it a lot. And the third thing, which is very good on this phone and which I really like it, is the functionality of the parameters. As you see, it has a lot of good parameters like 4G. It has a front-facing, back-facing camera, but okay, camera is bad. But you have 4 gigs of RAM. You have 60 gigs of ROM, 4 gigs of RAM. You have 5.85 inch HD IPS display, Android 7. You have very big battery, dual SIM. You have a lot of things with this phone. Its parameters is fine, and you can get a lot of usability of that. So yeah, it has some good features, especially if we talk about RAM and if we talk about the battery. And the things against: no jack, because we use it on everyday life. On the same jack thing, I will tell that it's very thick. It's not hard to hold it on your hand, but it's really thick if you don't have the jacks, so it's useless to make it thick as that. Another thing is that Face ID is horrible. It doesn't work at all as it should work. And the third thing is the camera. Camera is just a tragedy, except you make photos when you are outside and only on the daytime. So if you like to make photos, if you like to have a phone which has a truly working Face ID, you shouldn't buy this one. But if you want the phone which works stably and looks great by today's design, you have the option. You have the Oukitel U18, and you can put it to your cart and buy it. The last thing which I want to mention is that when you buy the phone, you get the silicone case, and you get the things like USB wire, you get the adapter as I show, you get this one, and there's one issue with them, that you have a very long USB Type-C. By default you get shorter, like this. So the very long USB Type-C cables are used only on few China smartphones. So this is a big issue, because you need to order wires like that from the China. So if you break your wire, you can't charge your phone. So be careful when you order this phone. Check it out for extra one wire from another seller if he can add it, and just buy this longer USB Type-C cable, because you really need it in the future, believe me. Okay guys, so thank you for watching. It was a average review about the Oukitel U18. How to use it, why buy it or not buy it, advantages, disadvantages, and please support me. Please like, subscribe. If you want to, you can donate me for my PayPal, few dollars to support me in the future to make more videos like that, because I know people want to know what we buy, and it's very important to show for people whether the product is okay or not. And I think this product is okay if you want to be the average user, average consumer, which just doesn't need the camera a lot, which make photos only rarely, and we just need to use the phone as everyday life phone without camera. Of course it's hard nowadays, but if people doesn't need camera, it has very great option to have the phone like this. So thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe if you want to donate me, and goodbye. Let's see you on the next videos.